Netflix's John Wick replacement show with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes is mandatory viewing for every action fan. By definition, the ideal action project should feature an eye-popping mix of death-defying stunts, nail-biting chases, and plenty of flashy explosions. Unfortunately, few genre entries offer the perfect blend of these elements. But fortunately, Netflix has introduced a show that does it all, Mercy for None. Currently billed by many outlets and commentators as the next John Wick, Netflix's new thriller is yet another strong show of South Korea's rising media influence. More importantly, Mercy for None has quickly become a must-see for any action fan. By virtue of its thriller DNA, Mercy for None packs plenty of nail-biting punches, intimate fight choreography, and flawless action set pieces. Like many of Korea's latest smash hits, Mercy for None is a clever blend of genres. Its action and thriller elements are accentuated by stylish noir dressings. At the same time, its premise edges it towards the gangster classification. These elements not only define the piece, they also link it to its source material, Oh Se-hyung and Kim Hyung-tae's Plaza Wars. Mercy for None's overarching narrative is, itself, impossibly intriguing. The protagonist, Nam Gi-jun, was once a high-ranking enforcer in the Joowoon organization, similar to John Wick's background as a legendary hitman. Nam Gi-jun, like John Wick, retires and brokers peace with the rival Yakuza gang after injuring his Achilles tendon. Now, 11 years later, he returns to uncover the truth behind his younger brother's death. What follows is a 7-episode celebration of carnage. But that's not to say one should begin the series expecting Saw-worthy levels of gristle and gore. Instead, Mercy for None revels in its souped-up version of genre-typical nosebleeds and fairly reasonable street fight injuries. While some have debased its copious use of bright red blood, others revel in its high-stakes and often high-speed action. Mercy for None's action is, unsurprisingly, its most brilliant highlight. The show's exceptional camera work and keen sense of high-tension compositions turn each battle into a work of art. At any point, a viewer can pause a scuffle and get a gorgeous, almost Renaissance-worthy still. While the massive crowd bashing, as featured in one of Netflix's Mercy for None trailers, is an obvious example of such skills, the same is true of every fight in the show. John Wick is no different. Its fights are meticulously choreographed feats. Every blow is carefully planned. Mercy for None builds upon that legacy, albeit with a distinctly South Korean flair. Where an American action flick goes in guns blazing, Choi Sung-yoon's vision is more reserved. Nam Gi-jun lets fists and blades speak for themselves, and the results are absolutely spectacular. Mercy for None also shares some stylistic similarities with Keanu Reeves' classic series. There's a refined feel for color and form. Yes, there's blood, but it's never spilled without purpose. Like John Wick, Netflix's South Korean thriller takes full advantage of eye-catching bright red. When it falls, it tells both a narrative and a visual story, and it highlights a character's vulnerabilities or draws attention to an important wound. That said, while the premise is compelling, the specifics may be a bit too vague for some audiences. This is not a problem that's unique to Mercy for None, though. It's not entirely uncommon for action films to skimp on the plot to enhance the fights. Whether or not that's a deal-breaker is entirely subjective, but action fans absolutely must watch this series to find out for themselves. Mercy for None's mystery and thriller elements are incredibly strong, but they're not always the primary focus. At times, the story gets a bit blurry underneath the visual pizzazz. By the same token, that high-flying action appeal is almost always the show's highlight. Drama gives it tension, and its action gives it form. So, anyone seeking something akin to John Wick's high-octane action and compelling revenge tale will have a wild ride with Mercy for None.